Yeah, part two. So yeah, temporary residents, they get down here and they have the vehicle. It's not a lot that we hear about the cops shaking them down, but you just don't ever want to have, you don't want to have that 1% chance. So if you're a temporary resident, you're going to be coming down to Mexico. It's better to go ahead and have your vehicle legalized or imported prior to entering Mexico. That way, when you get it down here, it can stay. Because otherwise, you get here, you have the vehicle, and then you got to drive the vehicle out of Mexico at the end of your temporary residency to either sell it or to import it, and that's a pain in the butt. And the big thing is this: certain cars right now can be legalized. Like we can help you legalize Japanese, Korean manufactured vehicles, German manufactured vehicles. If it's a Volkswagen, if you drive in, get a tip, and then at the end of your tip, you go, "Oh, I want to import my vehicle." Right now, the traditional importation, which is different from legalization, only applies to NAFTA vehicles that were made in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. So you cannot get those Japanese, Korean, German vehicles imported unless they're 30 years old, which is pretty unlikely. All right, so that's another issue right there. So highly recommend legalize it. Legalize it, man. Sorry, that might be offensive. Uh, Legalize it before, get a hold of us. Find out what your options are right there. Tourists, same thing. As a tourist, you can use a legal resident or Mexican citizen to have your vehicle legalized, and then we can immediately transfer it into your name. Or even just traditional importation at the border. It's for everybody. No importation is not 10 years exactly. The traditional importation system, again, is different from legalization. Importation is for a NAFTA, any vehicle, it's a 70% import duty unless it's 8 or 9 years old, and then it drops to 20%, right? And then when it's 10 years old, it goes right back up to 70%. So some people still have the old information pre Peninetto about that information. But again, like I said, get a hold of us now. The legalization way is the inexpensive, the best way to go ahead and do that. So yeah, that's bringing cars down. Ideally, like I said, legalize them, import them. What else are we hearing a lot about right now? People are buying cars, right? So if you're buying a car, you gotta be really careful. The paperwork's way different here in Mexico. Here in Mexico, um, it's like in the United States, you get a title. Okay. Well, let's say like the car gets its original title. That original title is when you sign off on the back of the title and you turn it into DMV and they give you a new one. They don't do that in Mexico. What they go ahead and do is they go ahead and